Hey everyone, this is Linda Johnson from BrewNymph.com coming at you with another edition of Let's Get a Beer, Florida. And this is the weekend of March the 10th and heading into the week of March the 12th. We got a lot to talk about, a lot of news, a lot of events, and we're doing this in two parts this week. So I'm starting off with, obviously, part one, and I have a special guest who will be talking to us in just a second about some really exciting things going on at his brewery. And we'll just go ahead and get going because one of those events going on this weekend, and I'll be talking about a bunch of them, one of those is Bog Brewing in St. Augustine is having its second anniversary on Saturday, March the 10th. So here to talk a little bit about the anniversary and all things Bog Brewing is the co-founder, co-owner, and head brewer, Steve Mendoza. So Steve, come on in, bring those notes with so I know what to talk about. And thank you. So hey, thanks so much for taking the time to talk about this. This is super exciting. When I first met you guys and before you opened and before I wrote about you guys in 2016, nobody really knew anything about you guys or that you were getting ready to open or anything like that. I'm guessing things have changed a little bit since then, now that you're out there in the community. A lot of people know who you guys are now?
Absolutely. We're building up, a really nice following of, diehard locals and then people across the state and even across the country that are starting to, find out what we're doing here and enjoy it and keep coming back for more. So that's great. Now you have a very neighborhoodish feel here at the tap room, and guys, I've done a couple of videos here before. One I did in December when they had a bottle release and I was looking at the bar side. So today we're still in the tap room area. We're looking back at the brew house back there. You have a very neighborhoodish feel here, the nice brick wall, nice bar area. It's comfy, it's cozy. Do you see a lot of returning customers on the local side, or is it mostly tourists, or how is your customer base? I mean, it's absolutely mostly locals or regional people, I would say. I think the beer drinking community in Florida travels well.
That's true.
So, we're just outside of Jacksonville, so we have a lot of people from Jacksonville that come down to check us out. But really, you said neighborhood, and that's really what our thing is here. We don't distribute. If you want bog beer, you got to come in here and get it. We do growlers to go, but that's what we focus on is the community here in St. Augustine and really just being a part of it and serving it, really.
Yeah, and I actually have a growler in my car that I'll be getting filled when I'm leaving here. So there you go on that. You brew a really good selection of beers here and a lot of variety. You're doing some special events, or special ingredients, I should say, and you're doing Belgian, you're doing barrel aged, you're doing sour, you're doing Berliners, IPA. You're running all across the board. Do you have any sense of specialization with your beers, or is this pretty much the direction you're going, just to brew a lot of things?
It's an interesting question. I think in the beginning, a lot of people kind of cast a wide net, and I know we did as well.
Right.
Just to see what worked, just to see, honestly, what the community here in town wanted.
Sure.
And, as we're going along, I do see myself tending to focus more and more on the Belgian inspired ales.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sour ales. That's just where my heart really lies. I love IPAs. I love a good brown ale, but I really love saisons and kind of some of the more nuanced stuff that takes a lot of time.
Right.
And so that's really what we've been trying to focus on. And special ingredients. We always do a lot of fruit inspired beers here, like a peach saison. We're going to be doing all Carolina malt grown saison soon.
Oh, really?
With malt all from Riverbend Malt up in Asheville, North Carolina. So
okay.
We're really excited about that. And it's nice to let some of the ingredients shine instead of putting too much into some beers and almost having a flavor bomb. If you can let some of the stuff be nuanced and let it come through, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and anytime you come in here, guys, there's pretty much always something new on the board. They just came out with a session IPA a couple of weeks ago, which I have to say session IPAs and I don't usually get along, but as we were talking about before, your session IPA has a lot of character. It's got a different flavor profile than any other session IPA I've had. And I have to say that I think I had 2 of them that night. It was just really good. So I like what you guys do with the different ingredients, and you guys are willing to try all kinds of different things, which is cool.
Yeah, you know, I mean, some stuff, you know, some beers work and they're just a beautiful,
right,
you know, occurrence, and you're like, I didn't think that was going to work, and it did. And then some that you think are, you've really nailed it, fall flat, you know. That session IPA has been something I've been working at a long time to try and get it, you know, just tuned just right and get the hopping just right and really get the body and the mouthfeel just right. And that's really what
that was a lot of it too. Yeah, that was a lot of it too. So yeah, now let's talk a little bit about your brew house. You have a 3.5 barrel system. You've got 2 fermenters back there, and you have 10 taps. How has it been to keep up with demand?
It's been good. I mean, it's challenging, especially when you try and do some of these one-offs with only 2 tanks. We don't let a tank sit empty really longer than a day or 2,
right,
if we can. And then, you know, even now we're reusing the barrels from our last bottle release. We actually just brewed directly into them. And so I'm using them as the primary fermentation tank right now.
Okay.
Will it come out? We don't know, but it's a fun experiment, and it's a learning experience, you know, if nothing else. So yeah, 10 taps, you know, I'd love to get some more on. Hopefully we'll get there maybe this year. In year 3, we'll be able to get even more beers on draft. But it's a challenge with only 2 tanks, but we enjoy it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, I think you keep a really good variety of beers on tap all the time, so it seems to be working out. Now, you opened in March of 2016, just 2 years ago. And if you guys know St. Augustine, this is festival season in St. Augustine. You've got Celtic Fest, you've got Seafood Festival, and Rhythm and Ribs all in a course of about 3 weeks. So you guys opened in March of 2016, and right on the heels of that was festival season. Were you blown away by that, or were you expecting that, or how was that when you just first opened?
You know, it was one of those things where you sometimes forget to look at the calendar. You
oh
know?
No.
and you're like, wow, we're really busy today.
Really busy?
Yeah, exactly.
Where'd all these people come from?
Where did these hot, thirsty people come from? But it's great. You know, I mean, that's the beauty of it, is like people just can show up anytime and, you know, let the party begin. Or if it's, you know, you just kind of go with the flow. And so the festival season here in St. Augustine is a great time to be in St. Augustine, because there's so much going on. And so it's kind of nice as the beer scene in this town has grown to kind of help go along with that. Right, right. And this weekend, I'll be talking about this a little later, this weekend is Celtic Fest. So heads up, you guys are going to be busy. Yep, exactly. Do you have any type of expansion plans for the brew house at all, do you think, or not at this time? Or yeah, I mean, you know, right now we've been working a lot on just honing our recipes and ensuring good plan. Yeah, exactly. You know, we've never wanted to expand for the sake of expanding, right? You know, and just get in over our heads. So we prefer smart growth. So yeah, hopefully this year we will be dropping another tank in here, which will really just allow us to even do some more interesting stuff. It'll allow us to keep beers in tanks longer if we need to, and just, I mean, that probably put another 4 beers on draft as well. Once we get another tank. That sounds awesome. Now, heading into this anniversary, you are doing another bottle release. It is the second anniversary ale. I have a preview bottle of it right here. There's some interesting artwork on here, and it's a very cool bottle, second anniversary ale. This is a dark rye double IPA? Yes. All right, and it's your 3rd bottle release, right? Okay, your first bottle release was your 1st anniversary. You did a second one in December. Both of those were barrel aged, right? Correct. This one isn't. This one is not. I kind of wanted to flip the script on this. You know, the first 2, you could cellar, you could age. They would just develop, you know, more depth of flavor and really go well. And I thought, you know what, let's just flip that, you know, narrative on its head and do a double IPA and just encourage people to drink it fresh. And try and just move through it and enjoy it and move on to the next bottle release. Nice. Well, we'll be picking up a couple of bottles of these over the weekend as well. And we're just going to have to wait and try it, but it sounds awesome. Now, you do have a red rye IPA here Yes.
on tap as a matter of course, right?
It's one of our kind of residents that comes and goes.
Right, and I've always enjoyed that one. So I'm really going to like this. I'm looking forward to this a lot. So second anniversary ale, guys, Bog Brewing on Saturday. This is a dark rye double IPA, so come get it. Will it also be on tap?
Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, so you can get it on tap, take a couple of bottles home, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, we'll have, I'm sorry to cut you
no,
off.
go ahead.
Yeah, we'll have a food truck out here too, Worst Busters. It's going to be a good time. So
yeah,
it'll be your one-stop shop this Saturday.
Now, if you guys haven't been here, there is a little picnic area out in the back. I've done a video here before out there in that picnic area, and you actually enlarged it over the time. You moved some stuff around with some flower boxes. It's really cool back there. A lot of sand. There's a fire pit back there. And if you'd rather sit outside, you have that option too. And that's where the food truck will be. So yeah, it's a nice setting back there all the way around. And backing up just a bit, you did your first beer fest in December at Intuition at the FBG Barrel Aged Sour and Cider Fest. Again, you guys heard about that. I was there. It was cold.
Very cold.
It was very cold.
Freezing.
Cold for a beer fest, but everybody had a great time. What was that like being a newbie on the beer fest circuit, and what was that experience like, and maybe what have you learned anything from that going forward?
You know, it was a great experience because it's one of those things, it's like a rite of passage to start doing those, you know, and
there's always a first time, right?
Yeah. And it's to have the ability to where we could, you know, when the first year we were open, it was just, we didn't even have the manpower to kind of do stuff like that. So it's really nice with the people that are on our team here now that we're able to do stuff like that. And the reception was great. It was really cool seeing people just randomly show up in their bog gear, and really show face. And it was fun. A lot of good beers, good meeting other breweries.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
Yeah, I could tell you guys were having a good time. I snapped some pictures over there. It was fun hanging out with these guys for a while. And we mentioned before that you do a lot of new releases with new ingredients. One of those is daddle peppers.
Yes.
That you're doing, and you also smoke those sometimes. Not smoking them, you know, but smoke them and put them in the beer, right? Okay, so you do that in the cream ale and in the porter. Do you have any plans to use daddle peppers in any other types of beer, or just?
I don't think so. I think it's really going to stay to the daddle ale, the smoked daddle ale. You know, right now we have the Chipotle porter on. We've actually never done it in a porter.
Oh, okay. Chipotle, that's the one I'm thinking of. They're all too spicy for me, so you know.
But we like. I mean, that's another part of the St. Augustine community. You know, St. Augustine is very proud of their daddle peppers.
Yeah, it's the only place that they grow, right?
I think so.
I think it's the only place you can get them legit native.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the word we're looking for.
So yeah, we love the way that beer came out, and you know, you don't want to overdo a good thing. So so we enjoy that beer, and we're going to do it like that. And I actually just finished smoking up a whole batch of peppers, and we're making another one later this week.
All right, there you have it. So wait for that one too. You guys, you can tell that there's been a lot of things going on with Bog Brewing in the short amount of time that they've been here. And if you guys follow me on social media at all, I'm in here quite a bit, and I always have some pretty good beers here. So, and I get some good pictures too. So it's all good. And how have things aligned, or how have the stars aligned, or anything has happened since the time you opened? Has there been anything maybe that, is this what you thought it would be? Have there been anything like, oh my gosh, I had no idea this was going to happen? Just from then till now, what's that experience been like?
You know, I think the best experience is getting to know the people that really enjoy what we've created.
Yeah.
You know, it took us 13 months from when we got the building to when we actually opened the doors, doing the build out ourselves, a lot of work, a lot of long days, and to see people really enjoy it and you know, maybe use it in ways we never imagine, like people having birthday parties or going away parties here, because the bog means something to them too, you know, so it doesn't just mean something to us, it means something to other people, and that's really neat to see. And that's,
yeah, that is, you get the other people on board and identify with you guys and your beer, and You know, I see people, I travel around the state, as you guys know, and I do see people in the Bog shirts all over the place, and I talk to a lot of them, and it is cool to see that growth, like you said, and the recognition and everything is neat. So, any inside info on what we can expect from Bog going forward? Anything you want to share with us, or if not, just say, you know, no, can't do that now.
Well, I think, you know, some areas of focus, you know, like we should definitely have another vessel in here this year. Hopefully by fall we'll have it up and running.
Oh,
and
nice.
Plumbed in. You know, bottling, December was our first non-anniversary bottle release.
Yeah.
And so that's something we're definitely looking to do more often, is have more seasonals released. And we just think that's a great way, since we don't distribute, to allow people to take our beer in a shelf-stable form and enjoy it other places, and maybe travel with it, and you know, that's what, you know, beer trading is such a big part of our community.
It is,
you know?
isn't it?
And so it's just a great way to let people be able to do that, because the growler, you know, is only so good. So yeah, more bottling, hopefully another tank, and yeah, some Belgian beers.
There you go. You knew that was coming, right? You knew that was coming.
More Belgians.
Well, that's all exciting stuff. And again, congratulations to you guys. 2 years, wow. And yeah, time flies when you're having beer, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, hey, guys, make sure you come by Saturday, March 10th. I'm going to talk about that a little bit again. And hey, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Cheers. You don't have a beer right there, but cheers. By the way, this is the cream ale, which you can find on tap all the time. One of my mainstays when I come in here. It's very nice, light, and refreshing. I love it. Easy to drink. You can have a few of these and just to have a nice, happy time when you come in here and visit. So, hey, I know you're a busy guy. They were just bottling when I came in here. Yep. So those bottles will be ready for you guys. And, hey, thanks so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure, Linda.
Great talking to you again, and we'll see you over the weekend getting those bottles.
See you soon.
Thank you. Hey, thanks so much to Steve. That was awesome. Again, here is that bottle. You guys come on in and grab this. It'll be on tap too, and they'll have a food truck out here, and it'll just be a lot of fun, along with some other beers that'll be on tap too. We don't know what those are, so you'll have to be surprised when you come in here and see those too. Now, we have a whole lot of other stuff going on, news and things I'm going to talk about pretty quickly. This is all on BrewNymph.com, so be sure to check the website for the calendars and take a look at all the Beer Fest information, all of the local events going on. And right now, we are going to move into part 2 of the video, where we're going to talk about news and events and things like that. So here we go. Back with part 2. First of all, a recap. As you guys know, this has been Tampa Bay Beer Week. Started March 3rd, goes through March 11th. I spent last weekend in Tampa. It started off with the Ultimate Brewer at Brewing on Friday night. Now, this was really a fun event. What they did was they assigned ingredients to different breweries who had to brew beers with those ingredients. Some of them were pretty odd. Let's be honest, some of them didn't work. Some of them did work, and I'll just read a couple of these because these are pretty interesting. There was a dill and boysenberry American wheat, watermelon and nutmeg Munich Helles, grapefruit and ginger Goza, peach and pickle Goza, basil and cinnamon Saison, hazelnut and pineapple Berliner, which, by the way, was by Hidden Springs, and that one was voted the best beer. I actually was drinking that one. I took a picture of it, had no idea it would end up being the best beer, so that's on the Instagram account, and that one actually was really good. So really a lot of fun at that event. That was last Friday night. Then on Saturday, of course, it was Florida Brewers Guild FBG Fest, and I have the souvenir glass here. I used that in the last video too. This was a Saturday afternoon event, great event. I just posted a story about that on the website today. Take a look at that. They did a tapping of the Firkin, the mayor did, and they also awarded the John Doble Scholarship to Charles Frizzell out at Broken Strings Brewery in Orlando. So congratulations to him, and I probably did get the name a little wrong. Sorry about that. I know people do that. But he'll be heading to Siebel Institute in Chicago, where he will further enhance his skills as a brewer by virtue of this scholarship. And it was just a great day out there in the sun. Weather was gorgeous. Everything about the FBG Fest is great. Put it on your calendar for next year, first Saturday in March, along with Tampa Bay Beer Week. Following that on Sunday was the Best Florida Beer Brewers Ball, where they announced the winners of the medals and best of show. The Beer Fest part of it had only the medal winning beers on tap that you could drink, and it was a great time. I have a lot of pictures about that on the website as well. So take a look at that. The best beer in Florida, by the way, was Big Blue Brewing, lightest thing you got, and that was the Kolsch. I actually was drinking that before they announced it, had no idea that that would be the best beer in Florida, and it was quite good. I have a picture of that too. I took photos, did videos, and I do want to give a shout out to the local area, Jacksonville area breweries who scored some medals, that being Main and Six, Wicked Barley, Veterans United, Amelia Island Brewing, Ancient City Brewing, Ardwolf, and Southern Swells. So take a look at the recap. I've got it on the website. Congratulations to all of those guys. Coming up, we've got Beer Fest events coming up. Of course, Saturday is the big one, Hoonapoo's Day by Cigar City. This year it's out at Raymond James Stadium grounds, and that is Saturday, March the 10th as well. All right, in some news, let's talk about some news. Starting locally, Legacy Ale Works in Jacksonville announced their new location. They'll be going into the Bartram Park area, so stay tuned for more information from those guys. I did a Q&A with them last year. Matt and Liz get to know them a little better in that article as well. And I mentioned this last time, but it bears repeating. USA Today 10 Best Poll of Craft Beer. I have that on the website too. There are 4 Florida nominees: Old Coast Ales here in St. Augustine, the City of Tampa, Tampa Bay Brewing for its brew pub, and Hoonaday for Best Beer Fest. So vote Florida. Now, Beer Fest season is winding down, but there's still a lot of happenings around Florida. Let's take a look at those on the calendar right now. This is on my BeerSPHERE page, Florida-wide events. We've got the Hoonapoo's Day. I mentioned that is sold out. We, of course, have Bog Brewing with its second anniversary party and bottle release. And we just talked to Steve about that. Come by and grab those bottles. Hang out here for a while. It's a great place to hang out. We also have Celtic Fest in St. Augustine. And don't forget to set your clocks ahead, okay? Beer o'clock. You'll either be early or late or something, but you won't be on time if you don't set those clocks. So remember to do that Sunday. Looking ahead into a couple of weeks, Shrimp Fest and Craft Brew Hullabaloo in Sebastian is March 16th to 18th. Crooked Can will be hosting a Celtic festival the same weekend. Shrimp and Suds Beer Fest under the lights at the baseball ground in Jacksonville, March 24th. Get your tickets for that. I have an article about that on the site. Pints and Paws coming up in Sanford on the 24th. Lakeland Craft Beer Fest also on the 24th. We head into Easter and April. Beer Fest season winding down, like I said, still some events happening, including Hogtown Craft Beer Fest on the 21st of April with that 5K. I've been doing that 5K for a few years. It's a lot of fun. Take a look at last year's recap. I got pictures. Also, the Bad A Beer Fest at Tampa Bay Brewing West Chase on April 21st. And we'll be talking about a lot of these events in weeks to come. But we're now going to turn the focus to Jacksonville and get all Jax'd up, okay? These are just some highlights of things. There's a lot more going on. One-off tappings, happy hours, trivia, ladies' night, all kinds of things. Look at the Tap This page on my site, and those are updated daily, so get those. Good luck to everybody in the Gate River Run on Saturday, March 10th in Jacksonville. There are a couple of after parties, before parties going on. And I have on my calendar here, Bog Brewing with its second anniversary. That's a local event, guys. Come on out and support it. Celtic Fest, I already mentioned that in St. Augustine. A couple of other events worth mentioning. Wicked Barley renovated its beer garden. Now, if you guys saw the video I did with Philip Maple back in February, he mentioned that they'd be doing that. Well, they did it. And they will be having a big old party, break in the beer garden on Saturday, March the 10th. I haven't seen it yet, but I believe it's got some artificial grass and they leveled it all out. So it looks awesome from the pictures I've seen. So I'll get over there and check it out in person. Atlantic Beach Brewing is doing a can launch party. As you might know, it started distributing its beers in some cans, and they'll be doing a can launch party on Saturday, March 10th as well. Shepherds and Shamrocks fundraiser at Veterans United, also on the 10th. Tuesday, March 13th, there's a benefit for ALS at Seven Bridges. They'll be tapping its Irish Red, and proceeds benefit ALS. So if you're looking for something to do Tuesday night for a good cause, drink some red beer and donate to the ALS. Beer and popcorn pairing at Alewife with Central 28 on Thursday the 15th. A double can release at Southern Swells on St. Patrick's Day the 17th. St. Augustine Seafood Fest, St. Patty's Day weekend. There's some beer dinners on the way too. Heads up, get your tickets. Real quick, gonna run them down. March 15th, Publix Aprons Cooking School beer dinner in Mandarin featuring Ancient City and Veterans United. March 15th, Irish food and beer pairings at Hyperion Brewing. March 24th, seafood dishes and beers at Atlantic Beach Brewing, and they're tapping a new beer that night for the dinner as well. March 26th, beer dinner at Wicked Barley includes a bottle of the new beer that will be released on March 31st. Let it enfold you. We also talked about that in the video with Phil Maple a couple weeks ago. Heads up, homebrewers, GastroFest, March 24th has a homebrewing competition. I don't know if it's closed. If you're interested, check it out. And keep checking back for more events. These are always added on the site constantly, so you don't even need a separate post for it. Just go to the site. It's up there all the time. And after that, we're heading into St. Patrick's Day. It'll be time for green beer, Irish stouts, Irish hats, and I do have a wig for the day, so stay tuned for that. And that's it. See you around Florida with a beer somewhere. And make sure to support those Florida breweries, and we'll see you somewhere. Let's get a beer, Florida.